Shades of Silty. Ellie would share with you a shocking new turn in the Phantom Thief case. I was wondering when you'd show up, Green. I hope you haven't made any plans for tonight because we got a situation on our hands. Remember our old good friend, the Phantom Thief? Well, it seems he's decided to branch out from burglary to cold-blooded murder. If the rumors are to be believed, he's claimed 3 victims already, all influential members of the Old Dawn Society. Mr. Many Faces has been kind enough to leave one of his signature calling cards at every scene, leaving no doubt as to the identity of the murderer. The message is always the same. The weight of 5 corpses will bring the scales of justice to balance. More riddles. Not that you'll hear me complaining. No, the only thing my readers like more than a good mystery is a good murder mystery. Ever since the story broke, the Mithril Eye's been selling like Pond's cakes. The only rub is that it's left me no time to look into the thief's last message. Until now, that is. Shall we, Green? The hidden treasure of Old Dahl, was it? If there's anyone who can shed some light on this, it's you-know-who. To Sunsilk Tapestries. Well now, if it ain't my favorite adventurer, and my favorite Mithril Eye reporter along with them. Tell me, what have I done to deserve the pleasure of your company today? I see. As much as I like to help with 2 of my best mates, I'm afraid you'll find old Wyman at a loss. Old has more than its fair share of treasures hidden and otherwise. Reckon our phantom friend could be just after about any of them. I can tell you this much though, whatever the thief's got his eyes on, it's got the Sultan sworn in a right dither. Word has it they formed the regiment of their best and brightest to safeguard the royal vaults from this very threat. The Sultan sworn aren't like to be forthcoming with information, but it's the only lead we got. Come on, Green, I'd say it's time we paid a visit to the heart of the sworn. Oi, hold up there, Ellie. I ain't generally the warrior type, but you may want to think twice about getting yourselves involved in this. A man in my business develops a nose for danger, and this time the stench is something fierce. You're a reporter, Ellie, and a fine one at that. Don't put that pretty neck of yours at risk trying to play a hero. Your concern is touching, but I can assure you that I am ready for whatever dangers lie ahead. Besides, being a reporter is about more than selling papers. I have a duty to seek out the truth and convey to the people. Come, Green, time is of the essence. Halt! Only authorized personnel are allowed to... Thal bugged me with a broadsword! It's the gentleman of life's adventuring companion, that catty but cute reporter from the Mithril Eye! Well, well, if it isn't the self-styled warrior of light. Tell me, what tall tales did you spin to the Sultan's sworn recruiter to land yourself in this position? Only the 12's honest truth, miss. Seeing that gentleman of life standing tall and triumphant that day, it moved me. The depths of me soul-like. I vowed to put aside my sketchy past and serve the realm just like my hero, Master Hildibrand. The Sultan's sworn were impressed with my commitment and my sword arm, and they gladly welcomed me into their ranks. Wait, don't tell me. You've come to assist Master Hildibrand in this investigation, haven't you? Caw, why didn't you say so sooner? It's the least I can do to help the mates who united me with my role model. You'll be wanting to speak with Phyllis. She's one of the Sultan's best and something to be a history buff, it seems. When she heard the thief was targeting the 4 relics of Belladia, she personally stepped forward and volunteered to lead the investigation. If anyone has the information you're looking for, it'd be her. Wait here while I get her. I can trust you to not to touch anything, eh? Sorry, we're an RPG hero. Going around and touching things is part of the job. A pleasure to meet you, Phyllis. My name is Ellie from the Mithril Eye. As you may have heard, we're researching the Phantom Thief case and would appreciate any information that may shed light on recent events. The pleasure is mine, Miss Ellie, and if I'm not mistaken, that would make your companion friend here one green slime, yes? Yep, that's me, Blue Mage Extraordinaire. You know, Green, as any regular reader of Mithril Eye would, I must confess being something of an unabashed fan of your work. Though it hardly befits my station to say this, I was secretly hoping that you would show up to assist in the investigation. Doubtless the inspector, too, will also welcome a helping hand. The Sultan's sworn, the elite of Uldar's elite. I can only hope they prove more competent than the bungling mercenaries I've dealt with thus far. Inspector Briarden, always one step ahead of us. Miss Ellie, Green. A moment, if you would. Right there, very good. Now, face me and don't move an ilm. Inspector, what is that in your... Demasking dust. A formula of my own devising that allows us to see right through the thief's disguises. Analyzing the mask left behind at Vesper Bay, I was able to identify its composition and synthesize a counteragent that will dissolve the disguise whilst leaving the wearer's face intact. In any event, it would appear the two of you are indeed who you appear to be. Brilliant, Inspector! The Phantom Thieves pulled the wool over our eyes for the last time. I fear it won't be so simple. The ingredients necessary to produce the dust are exceedingly rare. Even with the entire resources of the Sultan's Sworn at our disposal, we were only able to procure a limited supply. I see. Well, I suppose it's better than nothing. That said, have you been able to identify the thief's next target? A hidden treasure of Old Da, the last of the 4 lost relics of Belladia. I fear not. I pored through the histories time and time again, but the only mention of these 4 relics is a vague reference in an old prophecy. Most serious scholars consider it little more than a fairy tale. When darkness falls and hope fades to despair, 4 warriors born of light shall descend in the righteous glare. The legend goes on to describe the 4 sacred artifacts, each one possessed by these 4 Belladian heroes, but makes no mention as to their appearance or nature. 3 times we have tried to identify the thief's target, and 3 times he foiled us by making off with something else entirely. Needless speculation will only play to the fiend's strengths. All artifacts of Belladian origin have been sealed within the royal vault, and a regiment of our finest assigned to its protection. I have furnished all the guards with a supply of demasking dust, and instructed them to be on the lookout for any suspicious personages. The Black God will be in chains if we can lay a dirty hand on the vault doors, let alone the treasures within. You have our word, my lady. But then there are even more disturbing matters at hand. Doubtless you have heard of the recent rash of murders perpetrated by our quarry. The Sultan's Sworn launched an investigation, but the truth of the matter is that we have been far too occupied with the defense of the vaults to make any meaningful progress. We would be most grateful for any assistance you could offer. A lady asked, and a gentleman answers! Cast all worry from your heart, my lady. Hildibrand, agent of Enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, has arrived to set right what is wrong and bring the wicked to justice. And this must be the demasking dust at the top of the palace. Ah, but you need not waste your supply on me, Inspector. I assure you that I am exactly who I claim to be. A shame, that. Inspector Hildibrand, we were not expecting you. But your services are most welcome. I will share all I know about the recent murders. The killer has claimed 3 victims thus far: the head of a publishing consortium, a high-ranking government official, and an influential scholar. Other than that, they were all influential figures in their respective circles. We can identify no common threads connecting the 3. Oh, this will prove a most satisfying case to crack indeed. And what of the method of killing? Conk over the head with a cudgel, gut it with a great sword, strangle with a subligard mayhaps, Colonel Mustard in the dining hall. I'm afraid that we've identified no pattern. In any event, the murderer plots the deaths of 2 more even as we speak. We must take action, and quickly. Understood, my lady. Clues may be scarce, but worry not. My realm-renowned powers of deduction are more than up to the task. I will see this burglar turned butcher delivered to justice. Your presence is heartening indeed, Inspector Hildibrand. Friends, please take this demasking dust with you. I fear we can spare but a single sachet, but I trust you will put it to good use. Come to accompany me yet on another case, friend. I like your gusto, but if you're auditioning to be my assistant, I fear that role has already been filled most ably. Still, a gentleman welcomes the support of all of his admirers. I shall henceforth name you thusly, Green, my ever-loyal associate. And now, my ever-loyal associate, the investigation calls. I propose that we begin by inspecting the site at which the most recent victim met his demise. My questioning about the palace has revealed that a scholar's body was found not far from the 80 sins of Sasabo. Even the most circumspect of criminals cannot help but leave behind clues that will not elude my gaze. Friends, let us be off! Pray, alert me should you see anyone suspicious, my ever-loyal associate. We must put Miss Phyllis's demasking dust to good use. Flowers? Yes, it is all becoming clear now. Our phantom killer is a florist who, in his hurry to escape, carelessly mislaid his wares. Just what do you think you're doing, eh? I'm the one that put those flowers, to honor the memory of me poor boy. You dare defile his memory, eh? 1,000 pardons, my lady. Please accept my most sincere condolences on your loss. I am Hildibrand, agent of Enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire. I swear to you, on my own dear mother's name, that your son's killer will be brought to justice. Ahem. As I was just saying, these flowers were clearly placed here by the family of the deceased, which can only mean... Leave this place. Run away while you still can. Run far, far away. Run, or I'll turn you into a zombie, just like my poor, poor boy. A living person turned into a zombie? Nonsense. Not nonsense, my boy. History! Or have you not heard the horrors of Sildi? Aye, Ulda's sibling nation against which we waged war centuries ago. Too much blood was shed by both sides, aye, but I speak of far greater horrors than death, an unholy draught brewed by a Sildian alchemist, one with the power to turn the living to the undead, that his nation might command an army of mindless, deathless soldiers, the traitors spurn. They turned my poor boy into a heap of rotting flesh and ran him through, but you will hear that from the Sultan sworn, Thal alone knows why. But they whisked the body away for I could so much as pay me last respects. A traitor's spurn? I heard the stories, but never thought them true. To be able to procure them such a frightening thing. Just who are we dealing with here? A Sildian, I'm sure of it. Aye, only a Sildian would know the recipe. But the last remnants of Sildi died 4 centuries ago, you say? Oh, they did! He calls himself the Phantom Phoebes, but did it ever occur to you that he might be an honest-to-God's phantom?
heard the tales from my own great-great-grandma I did about the 4 relics of Belladia and the powers they hold, the power to exact justice. A spectre of Sylvie has returned to wreak vengeance on us. Woe, woe unto us all. Have the 4 warriors of light forsaken us? My dear boy, if you'd only become a traitor like your father, if only you'd kept your nose out of those history books and never so much breathed the accursed name of Sylvie. But you did, and now we're doomed. Doomed! Doomed!
Boy, that was rough on the throat. I'd rather not do that again. That bleeding whoreson's here somewhere. I can feel it in me follicles. Most potent hair tonic to rub a seed. Aye, that it was. For about a fortnight before my old locks fell out all over again. Just I was chatting up a lovely young lass at the quicksand, just a twist a knife and extra ilm. Montbank, charlatan! I'll find that so-called inspector and his sorry band and pull every last strand of hair from their bleeding skulls. It's all becoming clear to me now. That dear old woman's testimony has confirmed that which I had suspected from the start. Like a zombie picking away at its rotting flesh, Hildibrand, agent of Enquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has peeled away the foul scab of uncertainty to reveal the truth within. Open your ears and feast your minds on the fruits of my flawless deduction. Ahem. Our phantom thief is a phantom indeed, a wayward spirit caught between the realm of the living and dead for nigh on centuries since meeting a tragic end on the battlefield. As such, our course of action is clear. We must placate this tortured soul, that it might abandon its vengeful vendetta and travel to the next life, in peace. But what is the true nature of the Spectre's grievances? Without this knowledge, we cannot hope to assuage its rancor. Let us begin our search at the Thaumaturgist Guild. Doubtless, the tomes there contain a wealth of knowledge on the ill blood between the sibling nations. Notwithstanding the abject stupidity of everything else that came out of your mouth, some knowledge of Sylvie might serve us well. Go research as you will, and do take as much time as you need. You can count on me, Inspector Briaden. Whatever knowledge is there to be gleaned at the guild, it shall not escape my inspector's eye. Of everyone's very favorite part, run around and talk to people. My ever-loyal associate, tell me, what have you learned from your questioning of the scholars in these halls? A lot of lore, mostly. Indeed. As it happens, I have learned much the same. Let us take a moment to review and allow my peerless powers of deduction to work their magic. A war of succession divides the great civilization of Veladia, giving rise to the sibling nations of Ul'dah and Sildi. The two nations coexist for some generations, until ill blood boils over, culminating in outright war. Daunted by Ul'dah's superior military might, Sildi employs their advanced alchemical knowledge to horrific ends, transforming their own citizens, alive and dead, into a fearsome undead legion. Yes! I believe I have it! The facts at hand have led me to one unassailable conclusion. Our Fantasy is a descendant of Doom Sildi, who seeks vengeance upon those who reduce his countrymen to slavering zombies. To pacify souls and send them peacefully to the next world, there is but one course of action. We must find the Sildin statesman who conceived this dreadful stratagem, and have him apologize to the thief in person for the suffering he has wrought. But they're all dead. A brilliant plan. Perhaps you'd like to go find yourself a shovel and dig this statesman out of his grave yourself. Leaving aside this nonsense of spirits and specters, it appears increasingly likely that our quarry shares some link to Sildi. His garish garb is no doubt meant to evoke the silver scales of the fallen sultanate. This Sildian connection would also serve to explain the rare knowledge of Beladian relics our thief clearly possesses. But what of the murder victims? What common thread amongst them could have incurred the ire of our adversary? A few people in town spoke of a man sighted calling upon the victims in the past days. Those who saw him said he had a most frightened air about him. Wait. Yes, it's coming to me. Of course! My keen investigator senses ring out with a voice loud and clear. This man Miss Ellie speaks of just might know something! You really should stop thinking so hard. You'll like to strain a brain muscle. Miss Ellie, who is this man and where might we find him? My sources identify the man as Guguria, a traveling merchant known to frequent Horizon. Shall we pay him a visit? Well, at least they don't send us back to the Waking Sands. Yes? If you got business, make it quick. My time's too valuable to waste chatting with every stranger who passes by. Forgive us, good sir. My name is Ellie, a reporter with a mithril eye. Never blinking, all-seeing, you know the rest. I was wondering if we could trouble you with just a few questions. Was it for love or money that you killed him? Yes, you, the thief of many faces! Thief? What is this nonsense? I don't know who you are, but I ain't got the time or the patience for this mummery. Now, if you'll excuse me, an important client awaits. Thought I recognized that voice. Who's this? I don't remember. Oh. Lady Dorilda! Well met indeed. Pray tell, whatever brings you here to these environs this fair day? Why, I live here, you ham-headed half-wit! Inspector Briarden, this is an unexpected pleasure. You have some business with my associate here, pray tell? Guguria, we can discuss business after. Pray lend the inspector here, the handsome one, whatever assistance he requires. Lady Dorilda, what about... Ah, yes, my dear Maria's name day present. I had in mind one of the prize pieces from Eshtaim's latest per-seasonal collection. You would be able to procure one from me, yes? Or shall I eliminate the middleman and make the trip to Ul'dah myself? I'll say it just once more, Guguria. I expect you to give the inspector and his companions your full assistance. They, yes, even the stupid one, helped me regain something truly priceless. Yes, something more valuable than any mere trinket. The real treasure is friendship and family. Alright, I'll tell you what I know. You didn't hear it from me, got it? I was looking into the killing on behalf of a client of mine. The thief's got himself some zombie dust. That trader's spin, was it? His cars speak of 5 victims got me thinking. Sildy, 5 victims? Aye, the arbiters of truth. The arbiters of truth? I'm not familiar with that name. Aye, if you would be, on account of them being something of a secret society and all. Influential personages of the Sultanate, you see, working for the shadows to keep false knowledge about the old Sildy conflict from reaching the ears of folk like you and me. False knowledge? Pray tell, what sort of knowledge might that be? Thor's balls, don't make me say no more. I got a family to feed. Very well, just tell us one last thing. Who hired you, and where can we find them? Hob! His name's Hob! When he heard what I said, he told me that he was going to set sail for Limsa with his 5 best sellswords to guard his back. There were many prying eyes at the airship docks. Said he had a private ship docked and waiting for him at Vesper Bay. But remember, you didn't hear none of this from me. This man Hob must be one of the killer's targets. Doubtless he also knows the identity of the remaining one. I doubt that. They say the arbiters are so secret they don't even know each other's true identities. Now, don't ask me how all that works, but Hobbs got high-ranking friends in the brass plates. As he heard the victims had all been zombified, he panicked. Guess he knew that he'd be next. Nice accent, thank you. I think I do better with accents than tones. Thank you very much, my kind sir. Once again, the ancient man of art of parley has procured for us a key morsel of knowledge. Let us seek out this Hob fellow and see what he can share with us. And let us hurry. The man's life is in danger even as we speak. Also, welcome to Hildibrand. It's basically Phoenix Wright, but for Final Fantasy. And we return to the Waking Sands. Hello, what do we have here? Master Hob, is everything quite alright? No! Stand back, Ellie! Hunger. I hunger. For your brains. Damn! There's no saving the man. Green, do what you must. Ah yes, off-screen combat, my favorite. Yes, my first-hand knowledge of zombies tells me this particular shade of green is unmistakably that of the undead. It would seem we were a few moments late to the scene. A message. And then there was one. There it is again. Is something the matter, Inspector? Indeed, Nashu, there is. Ever since I picked up the trail of the Phantom Thief, I've had this fleeting sense that someone, or something, is watching us. The thief might be close at hand. We should be careful. For the moment, let us return and report our findings to Miss Phyllis. Secret society or no, knowing the identities of its members may yet lead us to the final victim. I too had best return to the Mithril Eye. Let's meet up again after. I'll see what new clues I can uncover in the meantime. You will do nothing of the sort, Miss Ellie. These streets are far too dangerous for you to walk alone. Inspector! I'll go with her. If you insist, Nashu. Then I give my leave. But pray be wary, not just of the thief, but of Miss Ellie. She has quite a temper, as we both know. Miss Ellie, there is something I must tell you when this case is over. Be safe and promise me that you will not attempt anything rash, as you did that time when the fiend took aim at my own life. Yes, at your life and... Ah, at Costa del Sol. Yes, that was quite the ordeal, wasn't it? And it was nobody's fault at all. I'll be careful, I promise. I eagerly await the day when I may hear what it is you would share with me. A secret vow! Oh! Consider my interest piqued as well, good Inspector. Now let us be off. Miss Phyllis awaits our report. A fourth victim! Thal have mercy. Were you able to glean aught of a connection to the other victims? The Arbiters of Truth... No. It cannot be. Somebody, help! Miss Ellie, the voice came from the direction of the vault. We must hurry. Miss Ellie, are you hurt? That man! I only thought to ask him a few questions before I knew what was happening. He was upon me. If I could only... Yep, rip. Bash his brains with a conveniently placed bottle of mead, it would seem. Haha! Remind me to not get on your bad side, Miss Ellie. That said, is Noshu not with you? She saw a figure lurking in the shadows and went off in pursuit before I could stop her. This man wears the armor of a Sultan's own squire, yet his face is unfamiliar to me. Something is amiss. The thief of many faces! Do you think we would find our man like this? Thrice and again did the fiend elude our grasp, but no more, by virtue of a gentleman's ingenious deductions and a lady's pugilistic puissance. I declare this case closed. I return this sachet to you, Miss Phyllis. Whilst the gesture was appreciated, in the end it proved superfluous to my cracking of the case. Whoops. While you're at it, is there anything else of immense value that you'd like to wantonly destroy? Gasp! What is the meaning of this? A second disguise. Ingenious. A double disguise planted by the thief throws off his trail, no doubt. This is how do you even pronounce that? Guigu? Sure. One of my most capable men. I decided to guard the vault and outfitted him with ample supply of demasking dust. It is inconceivable that a thief could so easily elude his grasp. Unless the thief was not wearing a mask. Speaking of which, has anyone seen Miss Ellie? No, that's impossible. Of course, it all makes perfect sense. I'll throw two disguises on this guy so the dust will only ruin the first one, because that's how that works. It's magic. What are you gonna do? it all makes perfect sense, with the Phantom Thief to thank for her burgeoning readership and rise through the ranks at the Mithril Eye. Miss Ellie could not bear to face the possibility of her story of a lifetime coming to an end. Thus, she hatched a plan to... Look, magic might be bullshit, but it's fancy bullshit. Milady, the vault has been breached. The wise men's whisper. It's gone. For her foul crimes against the Sultanate, I hereby declare Elia the Mithril Eye, the thief of many faces, an enemy of the state. Deploy all troops and do not rest until she is in custody. And now the game is truly afoot. Bah! What is the meaning of all this racket and rumpus? Just as we were about to make our triumphant return. Isn't that so, Enkidu? Gilgamesh, otherwise known as Greg. Just Greg. Miss Ellie! Miss Ellie! The shadow you said you saw? I think it was just a dormouse. Click, bleh. To think he'd literally stumble face first onto the second mask. His good fortune truly knows no end. But not to worry. Yes, I dare say the Phantom Thief has another trick or two up his sleeve. Not even the shockingest turn of events will turn the famed agent of Enquiry. My ever-loyal associate, we must find Miss Ellie, and quickly! Surely if confronted by her constant companions, she can still be convinced to abandon this fool plan. Oh, Miss Phyllis, I thought you had already departed the company of your men, but all for the better. Shall we conduct a search together? I fear that would only put them at greater risk. No, that is not what Enkidu looks like. You see, the fifth and final member of the Arbiter of Truth, the Phantom Thief's final target, is none other than... Hildibrand of Mander? Me. Mind you, it's not a role I sought of my own accord. My name and my passion for history are somewhat well known at the Sultanate. One day I received an anonymous letter, stating that a position the committee had opened and I had been chosen to fill it. The letter went on to enumerate my duties. To prevent the spread of historical lies, I was sully the name of our illustrious nation. As a high-ranking officer in the Sultan's Sworn, I was deemed to be in a particularly unique position to serve as an arbiter. I knew that there were other members of the organization, but was told nothing of their names or identities. To think that my unknown compatriots were the victims all along. I cannot put any more lives in danger. I will sequester myself in a place where my presence can cause no harm, until such time as the killer is apprehended. Your concern for our well-being is most touching, Miss Phyllis, but there is no need for such a caution. As a seasoned inspector, I am more than capable of protecting a lady in distress, and as a gentleman, that is exactly what I shall do. My associates here also stand at your side. Speaking of which, has anyone seen my loyal assistant? I'm right here, buddy. Inspector, over here! Ah, dramatic irony. Ah, there you are, Nashio. You really shouldn't run off on your own like that. I was worried sick about you. I'm sorry, Inspector. Miss Ellie says she saw somebody in the shadows, so I went to take a look. Now, there wasn't anything there but a dormouse. But it was a really cute dormouse, you see. It just kept squeaking and scurrying away, and I just... Pardon me for a moment, Nashu. Yes, my inspector's sense speaks to me. Someone is watching us, Green. Let us split up and canvass our surroundings. Gilgamesh still isn't back here, is he? No, he's not. A water-stained letter. Time to leave or someone can get murdered. Yep. A water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. Be wary and be warned. Destiny never arrives. Or does it always arrive? I never watched that movie. A water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. Trust no one, and your friends all the less. I'm the Warrior of Light. Trusting my friends is literally my superpower. A water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. This will avail you well. Use it wisely. You obtain attached to demasking dust. In the next instant, you feel an intimidating presence behind you. Oh, if it isn't my beloved son's staunch companion, the mighty Green! Gobber Manderville, the owner of the Manderville Gold Saucer Manderville? I was in an area of the matter of business, which I curtailed when I felt a suspicious presence from the shadows. Pursuing it led me here. Mayhap it is the same for you? Yes, that one. Oh, so your pursuit of the thief of many faces has taken quite the unexpected turn. And now you've come upon a series of anonymous letters. Mayhap our watcher in the shadows is a friend. Or perhaps but another trap laid by the fiend? Yes, the plot thickens like a dollop of a salamander oil. In either event, I dare say the circumstances call for utmost caution. The thief could be anywhere, or anyone, myself excluded of course. No mere mask could replicate the physique of this Manderville man. That said, I fear my dear Hildy may be a bit over his head this time. Allow me to assist you in your investigation. Were anything to happen to Hildibrand, his dear mother would, not be pleased. Oh, hey. This guy's been around in Hildibrand Adventures a lot. I don't know who he is. But he's there. If the sender speaks true, the villain even now lurks within our midst. And yet, we have but a single sachet of demasking dust at our disposal. We must identify the imposter beyond reasonable doubt before we proceed. You know the players better than I, Green. What say you have a few words with each of them, and see if aught seems amiss? What about you? Got any clues for me? No, you don't. Miss Ellie is a phantom thief, it is the only logical conclusion. And yet, I cannot help but feel that there another truth still evades us. Am I doomed to share the same fate as others? I'd sooner die than become one of those things. Oh man, who am I gonna use it on? Let's see. See if it'll even let us. Inspector Brianna told me all about it. Who'd have thunk Miss Ellie was a phantom thief all this time? She sure fooled me. It probably, definitely not the person that was revealed in a cutscene. That was sent to be shown to be knocked out. I wonder. Nothing particularly odd about any of them, you say? It stands to reason. The fiend would not take such a risk if we were not utterly confident that he could pull off the ruse.
Curses! This one's not half the fool his son is. I must elude him, and quickly. Time is of the essence.
I questioned the Sultan's sworn outside. To a man, they insist that they have seen naught of Miss Ellie. Wherever could she have gone? But, Father, what brings you here? Yes, finally the pieces are coming together. Now, if you would kindly stand still and shut up. The fiend already stands among us. Inspector Briaden, I should hope you are not doubting me. While I'm quite convinced that even a master impersonator would struggle to recreate your particular brand of idiocy, the fact remains that anyone here who has spent even a moment alone must be considered a suspect. The thief has proven to be highly efficient at assuming new identities. Gotta find the imposter, Daff. In a suit observation, my gangly friend, I say this occasion calls for a dose or two of that powder green here found earlier. There wouldn't happen to be another sachet or two lying about, would there? What remains of our supply has already been distributed to the search party, but worry not. They should be reporting back within a bell's time. Ha! Time might be against me, but just you watch. I'll wiggle my way out of this and turn you into the reeking, drooling corpse you deserve to be. I fear that is more than time that we can afford, Miss Phyllis. Fortunately, my powers of deduction will lay the fiend's face bare within minutes. We know that, given the choice, the thief prefers to impersonate familiar personages. As Miss Ellie has only passing interactions with my dear father, we can safely eliminate him from consideration. That leaves myself, Nashu, and Green here. Nashu and I, in particular, had a close and extended relationship with our suspect. I shall begin by questioning mine own assistant. I assure you that none know her better than I.
Brilliant reasoning as ever, Inspector. Go on, ask me anything. I've all the time for this overstuffed buffoon to start talking sense. If he asks me anything too obscure, my cover is as good as blown.
My relationship with Nashu is so close, I dare say at times it is as if we share a mind. Or like a single brain cell. If this Nashu is truly my ever-loyal assistant, she should have no trouble completing my thoughts. Ahem! I'm Amanda Manderville.
Man!
Doing Madonia Manderville.
Can!
From the peaks of Quethos to Thanalan, Manderville.
Man! You're the best, Inspector.
A perfect score! You may rest easy, dear friends. This is unmistakably, unequivocally, indubitably the true Nashu. Hildibrand has two brains and Nashu is holding on to them both.
I never loved you more than now, you marvelous muttonhead, you.
Nashu, is something the matter? Just because you picked up a few more wrinkles beneath the eyes, there's no need to avert that charming face of yours.
Wrinkles? Wrinkles, look who's talking, you crusty, cretinous old... Genius Inspector?
The charade is up, Miss Ellie. Hildibrand.
Ha! Pocket sand!
What a twist! Miss Ellie, you look somehow different.